I am Shubham Sarma, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmacy in Mangalayatan University, Aligarh. Today we are going to discuss about the regulatory affairs. What are the regulatory affair department and which type of peoples are working in this department? What are their qualifications, criteria, and what are the importance regulatory affairs professionals? And what are the regulatory affairs historical overview, and we are also little bit discussing about the different regulatory authority of different countries. Let's start with the first slide. Let's start with first slide. First of all, we are going to discuss about the regulatory affairs, and we are just going to be know about what is regulatory affairs. As shown in the slides, regulatory affairs is a profession within the healthcare industry, namely pharmaceutical, medical device, biologics, and functional food. Regulatory affairs just like a department, sector, or field, same as the other department which are working in the pharmaceutical industry. Like in the pharmaceutical industry, a quality control department, quality assurance department, production department, same as the companies or pharmaceutical industries have regulatory affairs department which work in pharmaceuticals, medical devices industries, biologics, and functional food industries. Next, regulatory affairs is a profession which has developed from the desire of government to protect public health by controlling the safety and efficacy of product in area including pharmaceutical, veterinary medicines, medical devices, pesticides, agrochemicals, cosmetics, and complementary medicines. Basically, the regulatory affair department created or developed by the desire of government of different countries. As the government want to protect or as the government want to protect the life, health conditions of the patient, of the people of their country, or the people of their country. So they are required to set up some of the guidelines, some of the standards, some of the parameters for making or for developing new drugs or for marketing new drugs. So that's why we are having regulatory affairs. In simple term, we have to say that the regulatory affairs department just created by the desire of government, as the government want to protect the health conditions of their pupils. In the next slide, we have to continue with the regulatory affairs. Regulatory affairs profession at its heart is all about collecting, analyzing, and communicating the risk and benefits of healthcare products to regulatory agencies and public all over the world. The main work of regulatory affairs department is just to collecting, analyzing, and communicating the risk and benefit of healthcare product to the regulatory agency and as well as to the public. In simple, we can say that the regulatory affairs professional, or you can call it regulatory affairs department, work by collecting, analyzing, and the communicating the risk. If we are having any risk in the product, in the process, then they are going to be communicating that risk to the concerned authority about the particular risk. Also, the regulatory affairs professionals inform the pharmaceutical industry about the benefits of their product, as well as they are sending the information regarding the risk, regarding the benefits to the regulatory agencies as well as to the public all over the world. In the second point, Regulatory affairs, also called as government affairs, is a profession within regulated industry such as pharmaceutical medical devices. As we are already discussed in the first slide, the regulatory affairs department developed by the desire of governments. That's why we are also called as government affairs, which regulate the industries like pharmaceutical industries, which work to manufacture drugs like syrup, ointments, tablets, capsules, as well as they are work on a medical devices industry which manufacture the medical devices worldwide. In the third point, this department is responsible for understanding the regulatory requirement for getting new generic products approved. Basically, the regulatory affairs department in the industry work or responsible for understanding the requirement for getting approval from the concerned regulatory agency of the country. Basically, we are just discussing like the regulatory affairs department is a department which is mainly responsible for fulfilling the requirement according to the standard of regulatory agency of their concerned country. Okay. Let's start with next slide. What is regulatory affairs? Regulatory affairs is a comparatively new profession which developed from the desire of government to protect public health by controlling the safety and efficacy of product in area including pharmaceutical, veterinary medicines, medical devices, pesticides, agrochemicals, cosmetics and complementary medicines. As we are already discussed, what is regulatory affairs? Regulatory affairs basically a profession, sector or field which work in pharmaceutical industry to regulate pharmaceutical new drug approval, to regulate medical device industry, regulatory approvals. But basically the regulatory affair department developed or created by the desire of governments as they want to protect the life, as they want to uh, protect their pupils from the harmful drugs, from the harmful toxins, harmful products. That's why government need to create or government need to make or develop new profession which work as a regulatory affairs. In the next line, regulatory affairs in the pharma industry may be defined as the interface between the pharmaceutical industry and the regulatory agency across the world. As we discussed, the regulatory affair department is work as a mediator. It work as a middleman between the regulatory agencies which gives the approval to the new drugs to pharmaceutical industries, which means the regulatory affairs department work as a mediator between the regulatory agency of concerned country and pharmaceutical company. In the regulatory affairs department there is a several different departments